And it's spooky. Hello, friends, and welcome back to It Is Spooky. I'm your host, Soul Rack the Innocent. Tonight, we have a special edition of It Is Spooky. We'll be focusing only on UFO phenomenon and the aliens. We're going to see if we can apply some logic to them and debunk them, or if they truly are out of this world. So why don't you sit back and relax and enjoy yourself as we continue on our quest into the world of the paranormal. It is spooky. Tonight's first video comes from UFO and Me 25 on Reddit. This footage here comes from the skies of India. We see here what appears to be glowing lights in the sky, and they do look like it's in the shape of a saucer-like thing. But could this thing actually be a flying saucer, or could they be drones? Looking at the way that they are shaped, it would give the indication that it is some sort of saucer, but unfortunately, because we can't see anything more than just these rows of lights, it is difficult to determine. In this case here, I would say that it could be a UFO, but it could also be drones. But what do you think? Do you think that this is UFO footage, or that maybe it's just drones? Either way, very interesting. The following set of clips comes from DD32X6 on Reddit. UFOs over Tijuana and Baja California. These sets of videos were all taken from multiple sources, but put together for the purposes of this video. We see here what appears to be glowing lights in the sky. What's interesting is that multiple people saw these things in the sky at the same time, and that's where all this footage comes from. So that would be very hard to fake. The one thing that I would say that these things could actually be is human drones. But what would be the purpose of these drones being in the sky at night, unless they're conducting some sort of experiment or some sort of test? But would that be sanctioned by the governments? I wonder. For it to be human drones, they would have to be equipped with bright lights, which is a possibility, but what would be the point, aside from scaring people? As we see here, it appears to be the same type of craft or sets of lights, just taken from different angles and from multiple people. That's what makes this very interesting to look at, because there's just too many of them. There's too much footage. I don't know of any drone that could actually fly this fast, but I could be mistaken. It is very interesting to look at though. Could this be a human drone? Fascinating. I don't think so, to be honest with you. Again, the interesting part is that it's the same set of lights, which leads me to think that what we're looking at here is the same object, but from multiple angles. So a lot of people are seeing this thing. But now it leads me to wonder, could it be actual UFOs? Or is there something more terrestrial, an explanation? Like I said before, could it be drones? If you ask me, if it were to be drones, there would have to be a lot of them, which is a possibility, and they would have to be super bright, again, which is a possibility. Some have even stated that there could be the possibility that this is CGI trickery. And to that I say, yes, that is possible. However, there are too many videos and there's just multiple takes of this thing in the sky. So for it to be CGI, well, it would have to be one massive hoax with a lot of people in on it. Which, well, I mean, it is possible, but highly unlikely. Ultimately, I will let you decide for yourself. Do you think that what we're seeing here is true UFO footage, or could this be faked somehow? But in my opinion, I think that what we're seeing here is legitimate. Well friends, we reached the halfway point of another video. Just a quick reminder to subscribe to the channel and leave a like to the video. The following clip comes from Conspiraciones on Twitter. This interesting clip here appears to be taken from an airplane. I often think to myself, how terrifying would it be to be sitting in an airplane, not being able to do anything or to go anywhere, and to see this type of object flying right next to the airplane? Very scary. But before we call this a UFO, let's think logically of what it actually could be. Well, people are saying that this might be the reflection of the sun. I mean, looking at it, I can see why people would think that, but I don't think that's the case here. The object appears to be way too close to the airplane for it to be the sun. Looking at it here in slow motion, I don't think that this is the sun. It is way too big and way too close for it to be the reflection of the sun. That just wouldn't be possible. Because whatever it is right next to the airplane. Very scary. But I will let you decide for yourself. Do you think that what we're seeing here is the reflection of the sun? Or do you think that this could actually be a UFO? In my opinion, I think that what we're looking at here is a UFO. Very interesting. Just wow. Our next clip comes from El Alienista Doc on Twitter. This footage here was taken over the skies of Mexico. Now, this UFO, it looks like a UFO in the traditional sense. It is very interesting, and it appears to just be hovering there. Fascinating. Could there be different species of extraterrestrials that have different types of technology that would create different types of UFO? Fascinating, don't you think? What I find extremely genuine about this footage is the reaction from the women that you can hear in this segment here. They appear to sound very concerned and very scared, and one of them even states that they are not going to stay around because they are afraid. Would you be afraid of seeing something like this in the sky, or would you pull out your cell phone or video camera or whatever and record it? Here we see it from underneath. Frightening. Very interesting footage. But what do you think this could actually be? A UFO or some sort of hoax? Or maybe some sort of promotional stunt? I don't know. I'll let you decide. I think this is a UFO. The following clip comes from Conspiraciones on Twitter. The footage that we're seeing here comes from India, over the skies of the Chandigarh region. What's fascinating is that we see a row of lights again appear and glow in a very mysterious fashion, almost like it's surrounding some sort of spacecraft, and then they simply just vanish. Here we see the footage in slow motion. It is very interesting, and it does look like they would be lights surrounding some sort of spacecraft. But what do you think? Is what we're seeing here a UFO, or perhaps drones? I'll let you decide. Our next clip comes from El Alienista Doc on Twitter. Unfortunately, we do not know where this footage comes from. We see something flying at a distance, but could this be some sort of drone, or maybe an aircraft? It does appear to fly in a very peculiar fashion. Here we have it zoomed in. I don't believe that this would be some sort of aircraft that a human would build. It appears to make itself thin and then inflate. Here we have the footage in slower motion. The way that it moves, it is very interesting, and like I stated before, I don't believe that this would be constructed by a human being. What would be the purpose of it inflating and deflating in such a fashion? Unless it's some sort of propulsion mechanism. But then again, I don't think that that's the case here. It is very fascinating. I'll let you decide for yourself on what you think this is, a UFO or some sort of aircraft. Well, my friends, we've reached the end of another video. Some of these videos showed genuine UFO phenomenon, which was very interesting. And some of them, well, you can tell that some of them were drones, and maybe some of them were possibly airplanes, right? That's the way that this business is. We're supposed to be able to sit down, analyze these videos, and think what they can actually be. Or, because sometimes they truly are what they say they are, UFO phenomenon. Anyways, my friends, I hope that you were genuinely entertained and that you join us again for another episode of Espooky. I've been your host, Soul Rack the Innocent. Until next time, bye.